Our purpose is to build a holistic voice that creates a community of like-minded, healthy people for a healthier planet. Our goal is to unify the community, nourishing the growth in mind, body, spirit, awareness, and wellness. We want to engage our community and visitors so they have access to powerful momentum of the holistic presence in our community. We do this by creating awareness through interviews, providing education and awareness of cutting-edge modalities. We also provide access for consumers to quality natural health and wellness professional and practitioners and like-minded business that support this community. Thank you for listening with us on Healthy Planet One. Stay with us for the next interview with our next holistic guest.
Welcome, everyone. This month's focus is growing a better tomorrow and living green. So we're going to be exploring several aspects of this, and we're excited to bring you 4 guests that we have lined up, and we're inviting you to listen in each week. We're going to be on Mondays at 7 a.m. and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m.
And today we have Jennifer Rominiecki. We're very happy to have you. Welcome, Jennifer. It's nice to have you with us.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Jennifer is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Selby Botanical Gardens since February of 2015. And her topic today is innovating a greener future. We're really excited to hear what you have to say because we know a lot's going on over there at Selby. And we know that you have been overseeing the repositioning of the Institute as a living museum. I'm really excited to hearing that. I know that you have over 20 years of experience at major New York City cultural institutions, including the New York Botanical Gardens for 15 years, and as the Garden's Vice President for the Institutional Advancement and Special Assistant to the President. You were involved in many aspects of the organization. So you come with a great plethora of experience that really is so timely for this community here and what's been going on at Selby. I've been a member of Selby Gardens for a number of years, and it's just been amazing to see the changes since you've taken over. So welcome with us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So appreciate
Jennifer,
it.
I understand there's a master plan. So tell me a little bit about what your experience has been coming to Sarasota and where this master plan is going.
Absolutely. So I think as far as my experience with Sarasota, I think that one of the biggest distinguishing factors of Sarasota is its cultural amenities. It's the arts and culture scene. You know, it's really what makes our community different from all the other wonderful beach communities in Florida. Mm-hmm. And so I think that Selby Gardens master site plan and really, you know, realizing the full potential of Selby Gardens completely plays into the vision of Sarasota to be a cultural capital for Florida.
So is that one thing that drew you to Sarasota is because of that, I take it, huh?
Definitely. You know, I personally was extremely impressed with the depth and breadth of cultural offerings in this city. You know, not only is there a lot of them, but the quality of what we have in the community is truly world class. And, you know, Selby Gardens, I had heard of Selby Gardens because it's the world's only botanical garden that focuses on the study of epiphytes, which are air plants that grow in the tree canopy like orchids and bromeliads. So I had heard of Selby Gardens, but I had never been before, and I was recruited for this position. And when I came and saw the astounding collections and the amazing location, bayfront downtown, I just knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and that the potential of this asset for the city was really just limitless.
Well, we love that you're here because I know Marie Selby she just had such a love of plants. She did such a nice job pulling that together. And now you're ready to take it to the next level. Let's hear some more about that.
Sure. So really, we set out to accomplish a master plan And there were really three key challenges that we wanted to tackle. The first being that, as I said, we have the world's best scientifically documented collections of orchids and bromeliads, and right now they are on the ground in the flood zone in aging infrastructure. Hurricane Irma really put an exclamation point on our need to act.
Mm-hmm.
The second challenge is really about accommodating our visitors. It's a good problem to have, but we can no longer accommodate the thousands of visitors who want to connect with our mission. And a master plan was never implemented for Selby Gardens, and because of that, we're lacking key infrastructure to service the public, especially for our more than 200,000 visitors we have annually. So we're missing parking, orientation, other key infrastructure. And on peak days right now, we turn away more than 200 visitors because of a lack of parking.
Wow.
Yes. And the third challenge we wanted to mitigate was really the preservation of our 15 acres as a downtown oasis, so the preservation of our land and our historic structures. Many people forget that Selby Gardens property was acquired in parcels over 40 plus years, and we are privately owned. Mm-hmm. And at any time during Selby Gardens history, the board could have chosen to sell parcels of land for high density development. And I think Marie Selby would be thrilled to know that the board was able to acquire the adjacent parcels, now tallying 15 acres. And our goal is that this master plan codifies the 15 acres as a botanical garden in perpetuity, so that it cannot be broken up and so that no other development occurs except for this master plan. And part of that is the preservation of historic structures as well, like the wonderful historic Selby House and the National Historic Landmark Payne Mansion, which serves as our museum.
That's quite a task, Jennifer, quite a task. So you've had some real talking to, because Sarasota started out as a nice little small community, and you've hit the nail on the head. There's just tremendous numbers of people coming into Sarasota. How do we help them really understand our community and what Selby Gardens has available to them?
That's right. And what's so great about this plan, I think, is that just by consolidating our operations into the proper infrastructure we need, we can pick up 50% more garden space within our existing footprint. And by consolidating into new structures, the new structures give us this opportunity to set a completely new standard in sustainability. So what we're focused on is that the first phase of our master plan will include the world's first net positive botanical garden complex, meaning the buildings will generate more energy than they consume via solar energy.
And how is that going to happen?
So basically, there is a structure that is very cutting edge that we're calling the Sky Garden. And you will never hear us call it a garage, and let me tell you why. So this structure will be located on the commercial corridor of the Tamiami Trail on 41 and the intersection of Orange Avenue. And what it is it's all living vertical walls, so it's basically a vertical garden, but it will mask 4 stories of parking, house our plant shop on the first floor, house a destination rooftop restaurant up top that will also be fueled by an edible rooftop garden.
Wow.
And in addition, it will house a 20,000 square foot solar array that will help to power the entirety of the first phase. And so on top of that, the Sky Garden will house a 500,000 gallon stormwater management system that will allow us to collect rainwater, clean it, use it for irrigation, and return clean water to the bay. So you will not hear us call it a garage. It's a Sky Garden that's great for the environment.
Well, and we know that if we don't collect that rainwater, it's not going to help our orchids if we're using city water, right?
Well, that's right. And in addition, there's significant issues with stormwater runoff. Right now, we have, 2.5 acres of shell parking, and we're going to be consolidating, and we can't control the runoff. So the oil from cars, et cetera, will just run into the bay with storms. So what we're doing is consolidating that 2.5 acres into 1 acre, and with the most cutting edge green systems available, and so much so that the certification we are seeking of our structures is called the Living Buildings Challenge. And it's administered by the Living Futures Institute, and the idea is that not only can buildings be created that don't harm the environment, the buildings can be created that help the environment. And that's what our buildings will do.
So this is a model that other communities can really build on based on what you're doing here. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. So really, we will be an international model for sustainability. And in addition to having the world's first botanical garden complex that's net positive, the restaurant on the rooftop will be the first net positive restaurant in the world, meaning that it will generate more energy than it consumes. And it's going to be such a model for sustainability because it will be fueled by an edible rooftop permaculture garden that actually will be designed, operated, and maintained by a collaboration we have with Easter Seals and Operation Eco Veterans. So what's wonderful is we've brought in these groups who will actually create the edible garden for us. And at the same time, the process of edible gardening serves as wonderful horticultural therapy for veterans who are suffering from PTSD and other disabilities.
Oh, you're hitting a lot of aspects. We were just interviewing somebody with the Sunshine Community for composting, and that also plays a role in creating a very good garden. So that's exciting.
We're excited about the chance to bring edible gardening into our daily work. We think it's something that everyone's interested in, and we'll be able to showcase it. People will be able to see the edible garden and eat, from the edible garden in the restaurant. And at the same time, partnering with the veterans will just be an incredibly dynamic way to make it happen.
I love that. I love that kids are going to be able to see that, because as a health coach, it's very important for me that children are starting to shift their thought of food. What is food? And I know you do a lot of educational offerings right there at Selby Garden, because Patricia and I do a class, right, yes. Patricia? Yeah. Yep. So what kind of offerings are you going to, will be there, and how is the master plan going to shift some of that?
That's a great question. So really, the master plan gives us the chance to be a leader in educating the public about sustainability overall, as well as edible gardening. So because we'll be an international model, we really can incorporate very related educational programs. And we have a fantastic grant from the Charles and Marjorie Barancik Foundation that is focused on the educational programming associated with the sustainability element. So,
so you can see yourself educating people on sustainability and water quality and growing, gardening and solar power to people that don't otherwise know what's going on, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the best things about this plan. And because we are an institution that's open to the public, and we educate more than 200,000 visitors a year, it's a chance to really connect the public with sustainability and edible gardening. And so I think that part, the fact that we're a publicly accessible institution gives us this chance to really be a leader. some corporations, as I'm sure you are